What is up, everybody? It's your boy Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live here. A long day, but a milestone in this one. BSM Podcast, episode 40, 60 away from the 100th episode. I don't know what I'll do for that one. I want to get quite a few of these in. Because these are like the one, let's just hang out, chillax, and talk some sports and smack. Kind of stream that I do. And I try not to do these too often. Who am I kidding? I love talking to you guys. I love getting y'all on here. It's always fun. It's not bad. Got some good college football action this weekend, of course. As we all know, with Ole Miss and Bama, had some interesting stuff happen this week. If you guys watch WWE, anyone watch the steel cage match with Big E and Bobby Lashley? Holy cow. Man, was this good. Whew. Man. And Drew McIntyre came out. Got Big E. Or at least pointed his sword at him. I'll drop the link here in a second. I just kind of want to hang out, talk some sports with you guys. It's been one of those days. I went to Tennessee with my grandparents today. And yeah, it went pretty well. So my aunt that lives here too, I guess, goes up to the mountains once or twice a year. So we took her up there. She could be with my other aunt. Family travel stuff. So what's up, Colby? What's up, Alan? How you guys doing? Good to see y'all. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a good week. It's Wednesday. And so far so good this week. It's kind of stressful, but at the same time it's like, I'm getting through it. I know God's good. He's got an amazing plan. Just kind of go with it. So where them piggies at? Georgia, Arkansas, that's right. I think game day's going. And remind me again, is that game? Let me double check. I don't know if that's in Athens or Fayetteville. Let me see. It's Georgia and Arkansas. Let's see here. Sanford Stadium in Athens. Now this is a 4-0 matchup here. Let me share this one. 89.1% for Georgia to win it. That's just because they're at home. Let's just be honest. If this were neutral field or even in Fayetteville, I mean, Georgia's still the favorite, no doubt. But I think Arkansas would have more than a 10% chance to win. Come on. And is it the ultimate upset if Arkansas does win? I don't think so. I mean, they're on a roll. Their defense is pretty darn good. Beat A&M last week. Georgia shut out Vandy. Well, Vandy's terrible. I'm sorry. Y'all have given up 5.8 points a game. That's not bad. Defense is stout. Offense is great too. You gave up 3 to Clemson. Well, they got 2 losses already. UAB, UAB's amazing. But, I mean, they're not on your level. But still, this is a noon kickoff game, by the way. I thought this was a night game. Alabama Ole Miss is a 3:30 game. What do we have for the night game? Indiana Penn State on ABC, ACC Network, Boston College, and 25 Clemson? Come on, son. I think Boston College is going to go 5-0. 5-0 this weekend. I can't believe what I'm seeing with Clemson. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So, but anyways, it should be fun. I'm gonna try to get out at least a Bama Ole Miss preview video for you guys this weekend. Maybe Friday or whenever, I don't know. If I can. I might even make it tonight and just premiere it tomorrow afternoon or something. The only thing I have tomorrow, really, let's see. Supposed to go over to my other grandparents after my class. I have class at 9:30, of course, my time. But that's about it. That's really it. So I've been working on this essay for my English class. It's going good. It's about how I got to my school, the school that I go to. And I was joking with my grandmother a couple weeks ago, and she just looked at me and said, I'll tell you how you start this out. Buy a car." She's not wrong. But no, they were looking for more than that. Like my journey. What has made me where I am today? Who and what has built me? Who and what has made me into what I am and where I'm at in life right now? That's a big question, too. Not just for an essay, man. I've really been thinking about that. How have I got here? Quite honestly, I can't do any of this and wouldn't be here without the love and support of my family, grandparents, and only you guys here, at least for the YouTube part of it, which, I mean, I didn't think a lot of people would really know who I was by this time. I don't do it for fame or anything like that. It's not like that. But I got a lot of great friends on here. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I never thought that I would know quite a few people, especially in the sports world like this. It's so cool. You're on BSM Podcast episode 40. 456 subscribers. Y'all hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to join the stream too. We're at 456 subscribers over here. Let's try to get to 500 by December 9th, 2021. That'd be my 20th birthday, 2 years on YouTube. Let me get this off the screen. Can Arkansas pull that upset? Absolutely. I think so. It's obviously tough. I mean, they only got like a 10% chance to win, which I don't blame anybody, the FPI or anything. I don't blame them for putting that. But it should be good. I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and I'll get a preview video out. Maybe I can make it tonight or something. But I want to get, especially for Bama Ole Miss. It's in Tuscaloosa. And I've been saying this all week, on here or off here, whatever. That it's coming to an end. This whole Bama's unstoppable. They have the best quarterback. Stop. I'm not taking anything away from what Alabama has. Nick Saban is undefeated against former assistants. The guy in the best position right now is Lane Kiffin. He's got him this weekend. Somebody, I agree with Jeff Webster. Shout out to him, Roll Tide. Love Jeff. Always love getting him on. Love getting everybody on. Someone's going to get Alabama this year. I look down the road and I say, let me put this up here. I look down the road and I say, we have a trip to Jordan-Hare. Oh, Auburn's terrible. They're not that good. So, were they good in 2019? Were they good in Well, they were pretty good in 2017. They won the West. 2013, it was 11-1 Auburn, or 10-1 at the time, undefeated Bama. But still, like 2019, they weren't that good. Jordan-Hare is a tough environment. It is tough. I agree with Alan's comment here. Former assistant for Nick Saban. He says the person that should do it is Kirby. Well, Okay, considering now, okay, Kirby's in the best position to do it. Should he be the first? Who cares if he's the first one? He still wants to. Well, you're onto something. Just think about it. He's led Georgia to a national title, choked it away against Alabama. Next year, SEC championship, gave it up to Jalen Hurts. Year after that, well, they didn't meet Bama, but they didn't win the SEC. They haven't gotten back to that level. They haven't gotten back to the pinnacle of college football. They can. I make jokes about Georgia and Kirby. Oh, Kirby's a decent head coach at best. Stop. He's better than decent. He's amazing. Love and support for Kirby Smart. I love Kirby. He's a great guy. He's got a good mindset for coaching. Georgia's a great program. It should be Kirby, Allen. I would agree with you. It should be Kirby to beat Nick Saban as the first assistant. I just don't think that's going to be it. You have A&M coming up. You got Ole Miss this weekend. Ole Miss lost that game last year, 63-48. Now, if what I'm hearing about their defense and their offense are both improved, right? Now, Bama's defense is improved too. So I'm kind of on the fence here. I'm like, you know what? If the offense is better, would Ole Miss score more than 48 points? I doubt Bama's defense gives up 48. But if Ole Miss is truly better, learn from their mistakes, I think they're going to get Alabama this weekend. I haven't put a preview video out yet, but I'm working on that a little bit. Ultimately. And, yeah. So, Bama loves Kirby like UJ loves Pittman. Hey, what's up, Hokey? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you in here. What you mean by that, Colby? You saying, Bama loves Kirby like UJ loves Pittman. Like, should I never let him go kind of thing? Because I'd agree. I mean, I hate that Kirby had to leave Tuscaloosa. But, man, look at what he's done in only 6 years at Georgia. 7? Is it 6 or 7? He's been there a while. Was it 2015 or 2016 he got that job? Right? Look at what he's done. I applaud him, and I give him credit. And really, forget records or what it's going to be when it comes time for November. 2 games. Okay, there's Ole Miss this week. There's quite a few teams actually on this list. Number 1 is Ole Miss because Chess Hall, love you, buddy, if you're listening. Oh, I just think Lane Kiffin's going to do it. They're going to beat you. I got Ole Miss getting. Okay, understand that. Let's move on from Ole Miss for a second. In the off season, Jimbo Fisher, A&M, Texas A&M coach. When we see him, we're going to kick Saban's ass. And what? Golf? Saban responded. Really? So he's on the list. There are some teams out there that I'm just looking at saying, man, I want them. A&M's fired up with Jimbo. Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss on a roll coming into town this weekend. You have who else? Oh, I'll get to this team in a second. They're the next team on the schedule, at least that Alabama faces. But Jordan-Hare Stadium with Auburn. Say whatever you want to about Auburn. They're terrible. I would pretty much agree with that. They always give it their all in the Iron Bowl, the biggest rivalry in college football, against Alabama. But let me get back to this. Woo! Coach O, where you at? Where you at, son? It's been 2 years almost. Hold up. Let me. Where's he at? Where is this on? Okay. Coach Oshira, which apparently is actually how you say his name. I don't know. Let's rewind real quick. Credit to that team in 2019. 2019 LSU documentary, one for the ages. Yes. Let's rewind real quick. What was that you said, Coach O?
Right in the middle of the street. Everybody. We've been waiting for this moment, man. Let's go. Right in the middle of the damn field. And bring it down. Take it on three. Oh, yeah. Get this ass. Come down. Yes, sir. Take it on three. 1, 2, 3.
This is our house from now on, he said, in the middle of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bryant-Denny Stadium. His house? Oh, hell no. Come on. To all those coaches I mentioned, Jimbo, Lane, Coach O, I got a message.
I'm going to have to ask you to go ahead and move your desk again.
Move it on over. Who sang that? George Thorogood? Yeah. Anyway, move it on over. I mean, serious. There's some teams on there. Oh, well, LSU's terrible, and even though they look better than last year, they're still the worst defending champs since 2011 Auburn. I don't care how good or bad the team is. We got some beef. Oh, but Alabama beat them 55-17. Listen here. Death Valley is Bryant-Denny West. That's facts. Bryant-Denny Stadium, LSU has had some good times there. Not this year. No. This is your house, Coach O? No. Come to Tuscaloosa. Get your butt whipped, boys. Come on. Much love and respect, though. I mean, come on. This is our house. Come on, man. Come on. Big Lee, what's up, buddy? Haven't seen much of you in a while. Worrying about LSU, Ole Miss to go. I think Ole Miss is going to get us this weekend. I really do. I'm sorry. I think so. Someone on this schedule that I named is going to get Alabama. At least one. 2 teams, maybe even. Y'all say Auburn's terrible, almost lost to Georgia State. I agree. But I don't know what it is that they're doing every year. It's something. It's just how the Iron Bowl is. Hate Week's coming up in a couple months. Really, 2 months this week? Yeah. 2 months? Maybe. Rivalry Hate Week coming up soon. I'll get to Auburn and I'll save all the trash talk and everything for that week. It's just as a fan of the Tide, I want to see them win every game. Nobody ever wants to see their team lose. And if you do, you better have a logical explanation for it. You know? Never want to see my team lose. But that's okay. Bama's used to losing. Right? It happens. Teams lose. The best get beat on a day they don't expect or should expect. Big Lee talking with Hokie for Life in the comments. He says Hokie is wrong. Hokie said Florida will win the East. Wait, what? Oh. Wrong Hokie. Oh. Big Lee himself, I apologize, said, why are you worrying about LSU? Ole Miss is coming. Lane Kiffin is too busy on Twitter. Bama isn't used to losing. Come on. Well, Nick Saban is. He's had losses before. Bama fans have had to feel pain. We just had a blowout against Clemson a couple years ago. Really? Of all teams? Good grief. Anyway. Point I'm trying to make is Bama is vulnerable. We saw that against Florida in the swamp. You know, the offensive line is not going good. Fire Doug Marrone. Fire Bill O'Brien. I don't know. Bama is beatable. That's fair. That's the point I'm trying to make, Big Lee. 10 games in 13 years. Right? Like they have had, okay, this is what I'm trying to get at, though. 2009 and last year, the only two undefeated teams in the Nick Saban era. Two. He's had how many? You said 13 or 14? Only two have gone undefeated. What I mean is, even those championships, they still had to take a loss. They know what it's like to lose. They know, they're used to it. I wasn't trying to throw the tide under the bus like they lose and lose and lose. It wasn't like that. That's not what I was getting at. Every team is beatable, but Ole Miss isn't beating Bama. It's too predictable. Okay, that's fair. I mean, there was a game. Oh, what was it? Oh, it was LSU. Go back to 2018. It was like a top 5 matchup. It was like 1-on-3, almost game of the century. Both teams undefeated in Death Valley. Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. And Alabama shut them out 29-0. Oh, this will come down to the wire. It'll be close. Bama's going to pull it out, though. Oh, they pulled it out. But in a shutout, I mean, it was 29-0. So, hype up games. Be careful. This will be the game of the year right here. This is it. It's going to determine the West or the East or whatever it might determine. Playoff implications. Well, there's one this weekend between the Rebels and the Tide. And Bama could very much so blow them out. I just have a feeling Lane Kiffin's got something up his sleeve. I really do. So, that's my opinion. I don't want Alabama to lose. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me if they did. Anyway, I'm still here. What's up, Raj, you people? He says wrongly, it's like the battery. You gotta put it in that. What are you? Okay. Big Lee says he'll bet his life savings Bama doesn't lose. Good grief. Big Lee fighting with Raj a little bit. Battery is dead, Raj, just like that rant. Oh, gosh. What is going on? What? 2 playoff potential games this weekend. Bama Ole Miss, and one Ballard forgot to mention, Dogs versus Bacon Strips. I was mentioning that game at the start of the show. What are you talking about? Or are you saying I didn't mention that it had playoff implications? I do apologize. Both teams are undefeated and very much could What's this game? Is this in Fayetteville? If I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Anyway, someone get in here. Let's talk some sports. Anyone's welcome on. I don't care. I'm also trying to proof and work on this essay for school too. 700 to 900 words. 700 to 900 word essay for my English class. What's going on? Is this Lee?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
I'm telling you right now, Ole Miss is not beating Alabama.
Okay, I respect
I'm
that.
telling you.
I want to hear the reasoning behind it, though. That's all.
Because I'm telling you, I have watched college football for a long damn time.
Yeah.
And it happens every year when a team gets hyped up. Alabama shows them that they're not worthy of being hyped up. And right now, Lane Kiffin's too worried about trolling people on Twitter than he is about winning this football game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the line is 14.5 Bama. And the FPI matchup predictor even gives Alabama an 81% chance. So, I mean, at least on paper, looking at the stats and everything leading up to the game, it's not as hyped up as it is like it being talked about. If you get
I don't believe Georgia's going to have a problem with Arkansas like people think. I'm just telling you, I just don't. It just don't have. I mean, teams like that don't have depth, horses in the stable to just keep up with teams like Georgia and Alabama. Depth wise, right now, it just don't happen.
Yeah,
they might come out. Ole Miss might punch you in the mouth and to tie it up
a little bit of a fight.
But it's not. I just don't see it. I would be just completely shocked if they even keep it within 10 on both games. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah,
and I'm not an Alabama fan. I just don't see it. I just don't.
Yeah. Oh, this will be a good game
because
too.
when the damn news it just hyping up games, it never and Vegas. I know you don't bet, but I'm telling you, Vegas ain't going broke.
Yeah,
by making it. They know more than we know. Just to be honest with you, I'm just telling you. They ain't making smaller places out there. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing.
I got you. Hokey for Life mentions Cincinnati Notre Dame as playoff implicating game. Yeah, there's quite a few undefeated matchups. You got 4-0 UGA in Arkansas. You have 4-0 Bama, 3-0 Ole Miss. The same is for Notre Dame and Cincinnati. Notre Dame has 4
I'm ready for Cincinnati to lose to get them out of the equation. I'm tired of hearing about them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Cincinnati was to beat Notre Dame, one of them two are going to be undefeated, and one of them's got a big chance of getting into the playoffs because everybody else is losing.
That's fair.
I mean, their potential could be two, if Georgia and Alabama go undefeated, they're both getting in. That's guaranteed.
Yeah. Georgia and Alabama?
If they go both undefeated in the SEC championship game, whoever loses that game is getting in.
The only thing I say about that, though, is it cannot be a blowout because I doubt they
Other than last year, it hasn't been a blowout.
Right.
Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Oregon is going to lose a game to somebody. They do it every year.
Right. And then they're going to choke, and then they're probably going to choke away the Pac-12 title.
Clemson's out of it, so I want at least 4 spots, and Oklahoma's going to lose somebody. So I believe if Oregon loses to somebody, then they're going to do it.
I'm going to go ahead and say maybe it's UCLA on the road right there. That might be it.
Well, when's the last time they beat an Arizona team on the road? Have you looked that up?
I don't know.
They've lost to an Arizona team like every other year, or every year to an Arizona team on the road, either Arizona or Arizona State. It's crazy. It's almost like a jinx. Once they cross that county line, they can't beat an Arizona team on the road.
Yeah.
But I think Alabama and Georgia roll both this weekend to show that they're the top 2 teams and nobody's even close. That's just my opinion on it. And Arkansas is a good damn team, and Ole Miss is too. But when they get teams like that get too much hype on TV, they just never show up. This reminds me of, Georgia played Ole Miss in 2017. All I heard was Ole Miss, Mississippi State is going to out physical Georgia. Georgia can't compete with that physicality and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Georgia whomped them 31-3.
Yeah.
2018, Kansas, Kentucky. Had to go to Kentucky. That was going to side the East.
Yeah,
Georgia
right.
And they only lost like one game or maybe no game. I can't remember. I think one game that decided that it was going to decide the East. And they're talking about how physical Kentucky was, and we couldn't compete with them. And at Kentucky, we went there and beat that little crap out of them. It's just like them teams just can't. They're not used to getting media hype, and them players read the news clippings. Georgia and Alabama don't read news clippings. That's my point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You had me curious with that Oregon and like the last time they beat a team in Arizona. It actually, going back to it, was 2011. They won 56 in Tuscan. Yeah, it's like 10 years. So it's been a while.
Like it's weird. Like they always be like I think it was one last year. It was the 2019. I think all they had to do was beat Arizona State. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And it'd have been like a one-loss Pac-12 team. They probably was going to make the playoffs that year and lost to Arizona State, I think. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't understand why that is, but, it's kind of like Georgia had against Florida all them years. It's a mental thing. Even players that wasn't there, just a mental thing.
Right.
Like, can we beat them? And yes, you're better than them, but just a mental.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly believe Alabama and Georgia's rolls this weekend.
I think so too. Now they're going to be good games, and at the very least, I don't know about you, but I hope that they're not like.
I'm going to the game, so I hope it's a blowout. So.
Oh, you're actually going to the game?
Yeah, I got my wife got free tickets from a student. She's a teacher. And they get season tickets, and they asked for the beginning of the year, if any games you want to go to, let us know. And I said, I want to go to the Arkansas game before the season even started. So, y'all ain't going to the Arkansas game. I want to go. That's just a game I want to go to.
Is it Sam Pittman that's got Georgia fans so interested in Arkansas?
I like Sam Pittman. I mean, he did a lot for Georgia. Well, I'll be honest with you, to look at the home schedule, and there wasn't many games to pick from. And Arkansas was probably the best one at home. Besides maybe Missouri, but I just had an idea that Arkansas was going to be ranked. I didn't think they'd be 4-0, number 8, but I thought they could be like 3-1 maybe. Like I figured they would split Arkansas and Texas and A&M, but I didn't think they'd be number 8. But that's the game I wanted to go to.
Yeah,
and just so happened they wasn't going to that game, so we got them.
That's awesome.
Just sucks is that freaking 12 o'clock. But game day's gonna be there, so I mean it's gonna be it's gonna be hot. I think it's gonna be a pretty damn pumped game for a 12 o'clock game.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they have the 3:30 game this weekend. I don't care what time this game is at, but this Ole Miss game, I don't want it to be boring, because even my good buddy Chess Hall has Ole Miss upsetting Bama. You have to look at this too, that we're not really talking about much, but you have, forget just offenses. Bryce Young and Matt Corral are the two, at least right now, Heisman favorites.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that.
Now, Bryce Young is incredible. He's doing better than I thought he would. Now, am I surprised? Like, does anything surprise me at this point? I mean, not really. But he is, if you look at it, he's more of a pocket passer. If you look at his stats, he has a QBR of 93, almost 94 in the pocket, and he's 61 QBR outside the pocket. So if you're Ole Miss, your best hope is that if your defense is improving like we've seen, and you said that it is, Ole Miss, you got to go out there and pressure Bryce Young, make him throw the football, chase him out the pocket, whatever you got to do.
That's what Florida tried to do, but they never really could. I mean,
right.
By the time we tried to get to him or about to get to him, he didn't.
Slow. It was too late.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think Georgia and Alabama would be a great matchup. I mean, our front seven would get to him a little quicker than.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't going to get. I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about this week. I'm ready to beat the hell out of Arkansas. I ain't going to talk about. I felt like I just feel like we're going to just. I mean, 18 points is what I feel like it's going. I think it's going to be like a 34-10. I mean, 34. Okay. I mean, that's what I feel like it's going to be. I don't think they're going. I don't believe they're going to score a touchdown because if you look at the Texas A&M and the Texas game, they rushed about 500 yards between both of them games. They're not doing that against Georgia. I don't give a.
Yeah,
you're not doing that. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, I get the Georgia defense, but is there anything about your offense going up against Arkansas's defense? Like, is there anything that worries you at all?
Texas A&M scored 10 points against them, and they barely did that against Colorado.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Georgia's offense is a lot better than A&M's.
That's true.
Now I will say, I'm not taking anything away from Arkansas. I'm just telling you, it might be close for a quarter to a half. You know, it might go in a half, like 14-6 or something like that. I'm just telling you, Georgia's gonna just walk away with it. Okay, I will in a minute.
What's up, Slim?
But we'll see. I thought you play the games. But I got to get out of here. My wife and the daughter's back. I'll holler at y'all. Have a good one.
Have a good one, buddy. See you.
All right.
Bye.
What's up, Hokey and Slim?
Not much.
Actually, I'll take a little bit from Arkansas because everybody bashing Texas A&M's offense. I mean, don't forget, they lost their 5-star starting quarterback right at the very first game of the season.
They did.
Yeah.
And was it Haynes that they lost right there?
I mean, that'll devastate anybody's season.
That's true. And it's one of those too that, like, no matter who you put and work with, it's like one of those that just kind of affects you in ways you don't fully recover from as a team.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Jimbo's been there for a few years. I'm sure he's still got position groups that, aren't up to where he wants them to be.
Yeah.
And I think quarterback was one of them because, I mean, obviously you have a very steep decline as far as your backup.
That's true. It's not a lot. Like, it's depth, but it's not good enough in ways.
Yeah.
Like, of course, in our own opinion, we don't know what those guys are capable of. But, I mean, if you ask me, I'm like, I don't trust the depth that they have outside of this 5-star hyped-up recruit that they've brought in to work with.
I mean, that's the only thing I'll kind of take away from them. I mean, Texas A&M's defense is still legit, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I think their offense took a severe hit when they lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll give Arkansas all the credit in the world. They're better than I thought they were going to be this year.
Yeah, I expected a big step forward. I didn't expect – I guess I could have said, okay, they'd be ranked somewhere throughout the season or at some point 20 to 25 range. Dude, they're practically top 10. Actually, I think they are.
Yeah,
they're number 8.
Yeah,
well,
Arkansas is 8.
And some of that is because you have a lot more top teams taking upsets this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that they, give it, say if this was 2019, they wouldn't be ranked as high as they are now.
Yeah.
I want to know when because Ole Miss and Arkansas, Oh, this will be good. So, okay, so you have Arkansas and Georgia this Saturday, and of course, Bama, Ole Miss, as we mentioned. Ole Miss hosting Arkansas next Saturday, and then the A&M Bama game, and all of these teams are still undefeated, and
Except for A&M.
except A&M. But I mean, obviously, someone's taking an L this weekend, but look out for next weekend because, there's gonna be some eyes on the SEC West
Yeah.
for sure. What's happened? Can I ask what's happened with your Hokies? Hokie for life. What's the downfall?
I don't know. Well, yeah, Justin Fuentes. It's that simple.
I mean, you're 3-1. You're not ranked. What was your? Oh, it was just that West Virginia loss.
Yeah.
But then you turn around, you play Richmond, 21-10. But I guess it's not really good enough to get back in the rankings or even stay in there. At least.
Well, I'll say this: it's Richmond. They should have beat them by a lot than what they did.
Right.
Richmond's a top 20 FCS team.
Oh my God. FCS, not FBS. Those teams over there, they shouldn't compare to what we have in the Power 5.
North Dakota State.
Oh my gosh. Trey Lance, I get it. Now you guys, you're lucky you have a bye week. That's perfect time for the Hokies. You have to go and play Notre Dame next weekend.
At home.
Yeah.
The crowd is going to be rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard.
I get 2 weekends where I just get to enjoy it because we play Thursday night and
Yeah.
then we have a bye week next week.
I'm glad that we get a bye week because I hate just waiting for the Virginia Tech game because I can't enjoy the games that are on at the moment. So I get a weekend just to chill.
Clemson's fixing to drop completely out of the top 25, though.
Yeah. Boston College is going to beat them bad.
I think so, too. I would not be surprised.
I like what Boston College is doing, but I mean, Clemson still has a top 3 defense in the nation. That's not arguable.
Their offense is not what it was supposed to be, though. And I'm going to tell you that right now.
It's not even their offense, though. It's their offensive line. That is the only thing holding them back. They've got the quarterback. They've got the receivers. But and maybe running back. I don't know. I mean, the offensive line can severely impact your running game as well.
Yeah.
So I don't really know about the running back, but I mean, without at least a serviceable line, no offense can function.
To Clemson,
I'm going to have to ask you to go ahead and move your desk again.
Move it out the top 25. Go out of here.
Yep.
I'm going to need you to move your desk again. I love that. That's a good film right there.
I don't see Clemson losing 2 in a row. I'm sorry.
Okay. I understand that.
Respectable. Boston College is a good team, though.
They are.
Boston College.
They did lose their starting quarterback, though. You can't forget that.
Boston College is good compared to what Boston College has been. But, okay, that means you went from, dumpster juice to a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to keep things in perspective. And like you said, losing their starting quarterback, I don't know what their backup looks like. And, that could take down any team.
Well, he looked good against Missouri.
I have some beef with Feinbaum. he said something on Get Up this morning that got my attention. He said they were talking about Clemson and Feinbaum. They were previewing this Boston College game. The line is 15 Clemson, by the way, which I really do think that's too high.
What?
But now, let me say this: Feinbaum went on Get Up and said that Dabo's dynasty is done at Clemson. Now, here's where I have some beef. They were nowhere near a dynasty. They're not. They were going that direction, but they were still years and years and wins and titles off from any type of actual dynasty.
Okay,
I mean, seriously.
have you not figured out yet that Feinbaum isn't a source for credible football conversation? All
No, I know
Feinbaum
that.
is the highest troll in the world. I mean, that's literally all Feinbaum is. If you actually sit there and listen to the crap that comes out of his mouth, Paul Feinbaum's a moron.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, I'm not hating on him. You know, God bless him. He's like I said, he's the highest paid troll in the world, and he's good at it.
God. I got what you were saying there. Oh man, he's helped me out. You know, I've called his show quite a few times and asked for like advice, and I let him know about the channel and my sportscasting career and everything.
Well, I mean, cut your hair where you got that bald spot on top, put on some ugly ass in a suit.
That's me.
And you got to step your troll game up a little bit, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you forget it. Paul Feinbaum's got a tattoo on his tongue that says Nick Saban's toilet paper. That's what the man does for a living. So of course he's going to say, you know, the Clemson dynasty is dead.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
I doubt it. I mean,
Yeah.
Dabo is one of the best coaches in the country, whether you like it or not. 3 coaches in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I think some of Clemson's problem is him being stubborn.
Yeah.
He knew he had deficiencies at offensive line. He should have brought in some transfers, and he doesn't want to do it because he has his reasons for not wanting to do it.
Yeah. Oh, where's that video? Come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead air is not a good thing, Ballard.
I'm here. I'm trying to find a certain video on my channel. That's all. Here we go. This was from, I don't know if you guys ever saw this. I uploaded it over a year ago. This was what started the channel, me talking to Feinbaum and the advice that he gave me. Hold on.
Christian.
Because, see, I mean, he's given me some good advice for sportscasting at least. So, I mean, I have some good respect for the man.
Is up next. Christian, go right ahead. You're on the air.
Paul Feinbaum, how you doing, sir?
I am doing great. Thank you for the call.
Man, it's pretty hard to get in the show. I've tried calling a couple times. And I guess I want to talk about I kind of want to do what you do one day and, you know, get a contract with ESPN and, you know, just...
Turn off your mic, Ballard. It's
Sure about
echoing.
that after the first couple of minutes of this show?
But I at least want to go into the sports, announcing and broadcasting business. And I guess I kind of got it planned out where I know where I want to go in the degree. My question is, after I get my degree, where do I start? Do I go straight to ESPN? Do I start on a small, radio, as a guest, or?
Yeah,
Okay,
so you're 17. What are you still in high school, Christian?
Yes.
Have you done much? Tell me what you've been doing.
I'm in my senior year.
Okay, here's what I would recommend. I think. What are your thoughts? What are your plans beyond high school?
There's a local school nearby where I live. They got a program. I figured I'd go there.
Never worked out, by the way.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Let me offer you this, and I would tell any young person this. Get as much education as you can, but even more important than that, get as much experience as you can. And the more experience you get, the more people you're going to meet. And when you finally get around to trying to land a job, you'll be able to do a myriad of things. And that's really important, because in today's media world, those who can do a lot are going to be much better off than only having a singular. If you follow me, one thing I would recommend is just try to meet people, stay in touch with people, including us here at the show, and I think that's a really good start.
Just reach out or whatever.
Yeah, but I think what you have to be able to do, there's no perfect resume to get a job, but once you start getting involved in various, whether it's play-by-play of high school. I have a friend where I live, and he does some sidelines on high school football. That got him into a radio station where he's met some people, and then that will lead to a bigger job. And it's you always hear you have to start somewhere. Where you do. But wherever you start, make the most of it, and then make sure you stay in touch and gather as many contacts as you can.
Get the degree, and I'm like, do I start on a local radio station, go straight to ESPN? I figured I'd probably start local.
I tell you what, Christian,
I'm just rambling on.
But I want you to just stay in touch with us. Let me know what you're doing, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you anytime. Thank you very, very much. We're continuing with more calls. You want this job, it may be available in about 20 minutes.
Hey, that always gets me too when he said that at the end, you want this job, it'll be available in about 20 minutes. I'm like,
nice execution.
You're doing terrific. Hey.
Guys like him and Stephen A. Smith prove that you don't really even have to know anything about sports to get a job.
Yeah, there's gonna be a day I'll walk up in there, shake hands with Feinbaum.
I'm gonna have to ask you to go ahead and move your desk again.
That's a good movie too. I'm gonna need you to move your desk out.
I'm never gonna be accused of trying to crush someone's hopes and dreams. So I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah. Nah, I'm probably, it might not be ESPN, but I would look, I can't help but speak my mind sometimes. And there are some unfiltered sports shows out there, if you get what I'm saying. I will fit in somewhere. If I just put my head in, get my degree, finish school, I'll find some place to land.
Well, I give you a bit of advice, Ballard. You need to be able to think a little quicker on your feet.
On my speech?
you need to be able to think a little quicker on your feet.
Okay.
Like take for instance, you were talking about he came on the show he came on this morning.
Yeah.
You would get slaughtered on the debate on there.
Oh, you mean like I need to be better at rebuttals and all that? Like just like stating my case?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and I mean, honestly, media like that lives on one-liners. You're not great at coming up with one-liners off the top of your head.
That's fair. I will admit that.
I mean, it's not trying to be a dick. It's just
Yeah,
you know.
no, I got you.
I mean, perfect example. One-liners can take you far in life. Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith's a perfect example of that. That's literally all that man's got.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Yeah, he's got some good one-liners in there. What's he say? Let me be very, very clear.
Yeah, he makes for really good sound bites. That's why they keep him around.
Yeah.
Not all 5G.
You see, Max is out of First Take. He's been out for a couple weeks. He actually joined the Keyshawn and Jay Will.
That's another one. Max Kellerman's a complete buffoon.
Yeah.
And I hope he does take offense to that kind of statement because he is. Max Kellerman is a moron. And I knew that before he was even big on ESPN because I'm a big boxing fan. And anybody that watched boxing knew 15 years ago that Max Kellerman was a moron.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I never really liked him or his takes. And even if he had a take, it's like he didn't have the best, like, proof or anything to back it up, you know, like he said, I remember when Bama lost to Clemson in the national title, you go back and you watch First Take, it's out there. He was going on and on and on about Trevor Lawrence this, look what he did to Bama's D, and that's it. Well, you got to look at what he did to Alabama. Look what he did to Alabama. Look what he did. That's all he had. Why he's the greatest recruit, the greatest quarterback, because of one game. That's all he had.
Well, I mean, there were people saying that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a first-round draft pick out of high school. I mean, that's how long, people saw what Trevor Lawrence was.
Right. I'm just trying to make I get that. I'm just trying to make the point about Max Kellerman himself was like, he doesn't have enough.
Max Kellerman has that Ivy League education, and he likes to make himself sound smart, but really he just comes across as a smug idiot.
Yeah. Like, he seems like a really cool and nice guy, but I just think that his takes and everything are they're not the best.
No,
Stephen A. Smith has two legs up on that man. Not even just one. You know?
I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Yeah. All right.
So Hokey, you that confident? I noticed your name here, Virginia Tech ACC Championship campaign. I mean, you surely that confident you guys could pull that out this year?
Yeah, especially with how weak the ACC is.
Well, there's that, but I mean, even like, I mean, see, that's the thing. What does that say about Clemson? I mean, I know I keep bringing them up, but seriously, what does that say about Dabo? I mean, the ACC is down all the way around.
Yeah.
It's down. North Carolina's not good like we expected them to be. Virginia Tech came out of nowhere this year. And now it's like Clemson's not even there. God, I don't think they're winning the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I honestly think it's Wake's year to win the Atlantic. Like, a lot of people have been calling me crazy on that, but I think Wake's going to win the Atlantic this year.
Yeah, I'll call you crazy on that one too.
Uh-oh.
I kind of hope Wake wins it just so we have an easier ACC championship game.
Yeah, I mean, that would make it easier for Miami to win the championship game this year.
All right.
I honestly, you want to know the real reason I want that to I just want that to happen just for my entertainment, because all these half literate Miami fans would absolutely blow a gasket if Manny Diaz at this point made the ACC championship game. God forbid, won the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just find it absolutely hilarious if that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to win the ACC, but I still kind of want Fuente fired, so that would slow up that process.
Why what is it about Fuente even after the year that you guys have had so far? Like
he's not the coach to get us back. He's not the coach to get us back to the top.
Oh, with like it's just that year that you guys are just having, but it's not gonna last.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last. Like I said the same thing about Arkansas in the preseason. I think they're gonna fall off a cliff next season. I feel like Arkansas is gonna fall off a cliff and go like 6-6 next season.
That's awesome, Colby. He says, just got my UGA tickets for this weekend. Let's go. Nice, man.
Nothing like going to a college football game. Nothing compares to going to a college football game.
I mean, if Fuente salvages this season, I mean, I wouldn't say get rid of him. You know,
yeah, not yet.
Game, but I mean, if he wins, to me at this point, if he wins under 9 games, this is the 6th year.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I say it's 10 wins or bust. That's what I've been saying all season. 10 wins or bust.
Yeah.
Plus, also, that will keep us tied with Alabama for second most 10-win season since 1995.
What do you guys think, though, about, like, is Auburn at some point, like, if things truly don't get going with Harsin, you think they're going to look at it and be like, we should have never let Gus go?
I mean, maybe, but you're at least 3 or 4 years away from even
talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the fan base is going to talk about it sooner, but it's like I keep telling with these Miami fans, they think I'm on Manny Diaz's payroll or whatever, but I mean, no, regardless of the coach, I think it should be, 4 or 5 years minimum to try and turn a bad team around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of who the coach is.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. J-Dub, what's up, buddy? Roll Tide.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
I was just over on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and Uncle Lou, Caleb, the spelling bee man, probably about half of the other Georgia idiots, are posting this meme saying that the Alabama defense gave up more touchdowns to Mercer than Georgia has all year.
Okay.
Oh,
And so I responded and said, well, let's see. Mercer was number 99, and Southern Miss was number 100 in the consecutive unranked teams that have lost to Alabama. When's the last time an unranked team beat Georgia? Let's see. Was it Vanderbilt? Was it South Carolina? Like 3-4 years ago? Yeah,
2019.
When Bama broke the streak, the previous record had been set by the U. Miami had the previous record at 72.
Yep.
When Clemson lost to North Carolina State, they were currently number 2 in the nation at 36. Now, I don't know who number 2 is right now, but let's say they're at 35. Let's say they're at 35. Okay.
Okay.
65 games. That's almost a decade behind Alabama. Think about that. Alabama has not lost to an unranked team since October of 2007.
ULM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it don't matter who it was. It don't matter who it was. It could have been an unranked Tennessee. It don't matter who it was. What matters was that it was 2007. Holy shit.
14 years.
Yeah.
Say that some of those old Miss teams that beat y'all didn't deserve to be ranked.
Hey, Jeff Webster, I got a question for you, and Ballard too, since y'all are both Alabama fans. Y'all remember that game when y'all played Mercer, and Mercer ran I can't remember if it was a punt back or a kickoff back. Do y'all remember that?
You talking about just a couple years ago, before this year?
It was about 4 years ago, yeah.
I think I remember that. I don't.
Yeah, I
really
remember
exactly.
I remember. Was it Georgia State, Georgia Southern? Somebody came in and ran the triple option and gave us hell one year.
Well, no, I'm just saying that the guy that played for Mercer was my best friend in high school from Augusta.
Oh, that's awesome,
Cool.
man. Good for him.
That's his claim to fame. So pretty cool.
Nice.
But fun fact or whatever. But
He scored on Alabama in Bryant Denny. That is a
Tell him I
Yeah.
said good job, man.
yeah, absolutely. Salute to him.
At the time, it was like the next day or 2 days later, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my grave."
I scored on Nick Saban.
he said I silenced the stadium. I was like, "Heck yeah, man! Good for you."
Yeah.
You know, speaking of beating Miami records, Jeff, what do you agree that there should be an asterisk next to Boise beating Miami's home game win streak?
Well, that's the old who have they played argument.
Well, I mean, they even talked about that on ESPN, that Boise played nowhere near the competition Miami did in the Orange Bowl in that time.
I have no idea. The home victory streak, I don't know.
Well,
I don't think Alabama's ever been. I mean, they don't lose at home very often, but it's not been. I don't think Saban's had a stretch where he's gone like 5 years in a row. I mean, somebody's got
no.
him. They lost to A&M in 11. They lost to Ole Miss in 15. They lost to.
Hold on. They didn't. They lost to A&M in 12. We lost to LSU in 11.
Yeah, in 12.
Go ahead.
In 12, right?
Yeah.
And LSU in 19. So yeah, I mean it's not been a great miracle run of winning at BDS. I mean, it's hard to do, but it's not like they've run off 70 in a row or something.
No.
Well, no.
Now we did just. Isn't it now 100? Isn't it now 100 consecutive wins against unranked opponents?
Yes.
Something like that. There you go.
Said that, Ballard.
It's 100 against unranked. It's 23 against former assistants. It's 32 against the entire SEC East.
What's it like? What did you say the assistance was?
23. Saban's 23-0 against his former assistants while he's been at Alabama. I don't know when he was at Michigan State or LSU or whatever, but at Alabama, he's played former assistants 23 times and he's 23-0.
Yeah.
And that, like everything else, like all streaks, somebody's going to break it, and it's going to be. And when it happens, these things, when they get broken, it's always the unexpected. It's never, well, this is when it's going to happen. It's always the unexpected that gets you.
Mel Tucker at Michigan State.
It won't be Alabama losing to unranked LSU in a couple of weeks. It'll be next year against some. That's what'll happen. It'll be somebody you never saw it coming.
Oh, I don't believe that. I believe Georgia has the best shot to beat them this year, or if not next year.
Oh, they could. I mean, this is the year for Georgia. They've got to do it this year.
Yeah. So why would you say someone not expecting?
Ole Miss.
No. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm not thinking. Yeah. The Kirby. I'd give Georgia. If they both get there 12-0, I'm going to give Georgia a better than 50-50 chance of winning that game.
Oh, I would give us a less percentage, but yeah, about 50-50.
Who's going on, everyone?
Is that Jacob? You better change that hashtag because nobody should want them. Wow.
Yeah, we do want Bama. We do want Bama.
Because this is the situation, and Slim was in this position when Miami was making their great run in the late 80s and the early 90s. And now Bama is in this situation in the last dozen years where if the other team beats you, somebody beats you, it's their Super Bowl. It's a game their fan base is going to talk about for decades. Remember when we beat Texas A&M? Remember when we beat Bama back in 12? They're still talking about that.
Yeah, they are.
But when Alabama beats you, it's just Saturday. It's just Saturday. Roll Tide.
And an example, a huge example, is the Alabama LSU game. The only games that matter. Look, the game of the century game in 2011 is more popular than the national title game that year because LSU won.
Right.
Yeah.
So that can be.
LSU won 9-6 in Bryant Denny.
Only field goals, by the way.
Only field goals, and Alabama missed 5 field goals in that game.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
It took Nick Saban right at a dozen years to learn to recruit a kicker that's worth a shit.
Well, he used to. Well, the reason why
he started out with a good one.
He did,
and then everything kind of went for a while.
Well, he decided.
Adam Griffin was a good kicker.
Well, was he? 69% career. Okay.
We had
that's one thing. That's one thing I will say. When I was a student, I got to see Cornelius Bennett and Derrick Thomas play, and our kickers were Van Tiffen and Philip Doyle, the number 2 and number 3 kickers all time in the school. So while the team wasn't doing great things, they were winning 8 games, 9 games, going to the Hall of Fame Bowl, things like that. I did get to see 2 outstanding kickers, and I did get to see Cornelius Bennett and Derrick Thomas. And yes, they were all that.
Remember back in the 80s, we had Van Tiffen, and then when Saban first got there, we had his son, Lay Tiffen, right? Lee,
right,
or whatever.
Lee, yeah.
He wasn't too bad.
Well, it was right around. It was right around when I was in high school, when both Miami and Tampa Bay were good. And both of them had good kickers. Because Tampa Bay, that was when they had Martin Gramatica, or Automatica Gramatica, as we called him.
Right. Yep.
And then Jeff's brought up before in previous conversations the Miami kicker we had at the time.
Todd Sievert.
Yeah, Sievert.
Yeah, kid out of Ankeny, which is about 20 miles north of Des Moines. I saw him play 2 or 3 times in high school. He still has the longest high school field goal kick I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for
How long
Bama,
was that?
well, Nick's for Nick's
57.
Was it off the tee?
Yes.
It was okay.
At
Just
that
wondering,
time they were using the tee.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
I
off the
used to
tee, but
tee
it
in
was
high
still
school.
57 yards, man, and that's
Yeah.
a bomb. 57 is a bomb.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I played for an Augusta team when I was in high school, Lakeside, and we played Houston County, which Jake Fromm went to. And I remember it was 16 seconds on the clock. It was like 4th and 12 or something like that. We were down by 2 at the time, and I kicked a 41-yarder, soccer boy right here, and beat Jake Fromm. So that's my claim to fame too.
Really?
All right.
You know what? Part of me almost wishes I could have stayed in South Georgia playing football, because I would have played with and against a lot of good players. Because I don't know how familiar you are with Georgia high school football, but I would have played for Coffee County High School.
Well,
oh yeah.
That's a hell of high school football.
I remember when Marietta beat Justin Fields 4 years in a row.
And this guy was good.
Yeah, I mean Fields did not have as good of a team as Marietta, but we beat him 4 times in a row.
JT Daniels played DJ Uongole 3 years in a row in high school.
Yeah, Mater Dye versus St. John Bosco.
I don't know about all that, but
yeah, JT Daniels played for Mater Dye, I think, and DJ played for St. John Bosco. Bryce Young played for Mater Dye.
They're running it on the ESPN ticker that Georgia has confirmed JT Daniels will start Saturday against Arkansas.
You need that. You don't have a backup, so.
They're still saying he's not 100%.
Is it still the oblique injury, or is it like another injury?
No,
they called it a lab injury, a levominal muscle.
Well,
so it's oblique. It's oblique. It's in the stomach.
Yeah.
Arkansas has a pretty bad matchup against us, and the reason why is because their strength, their run offense, is going up against the number 1 run defense 3 years in a row. So that's not good for them.
Georgia's going to blow Arkansas off the field, and I'm not going to be. Lou's all worried that people are going to come into his show and say, "Well, Arkansas is no good, so it doesn't. It's a non-impressive win from Georgia." That's not true. Arkansas is a good team, and it's going to be an impressive win. And Georgia's going to beat the hell out of them. They're going to beat them by 20+ points.
I mean, I agree. Arkansas is an impressive team, but at the same time, I think Texas was overhyped, especially year 1 with a new coaching regime. And like I brought up with Ballard earlier, Texas A&M is limited offensively after they lost their starting quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially early in the year.
I think Arkansas is I think partially a bag of gas. I think they're, come see me in 6 more weeks and we'll talk about Arkansas, because they haven't run the gamut yet and they're about to, and we'll find out about them real quick.
I'm starting to think this Arkansas season.
That's why I'm not freaking out over Miami yet, because, I mean, who's the powerhouse we have in front of us? A bipolar North Carolina team?
Can't Miami technically make the ACC championship still?
Yeah, they haven't lost an ACC game.
Yeah, we haven't lost a conference game yet.
Yeah.
Y'all are on top of the Coastal, right?
No,
that would be Virginia Tech.
We haven't played a conference game yet either.
So Miami's 8 straight
That's
conference games.
Yeah, we got 8 straight conference games now.
But here's my opinion on Arkansas. I think they're kind of having a season similar to 2011, where they have a great team, but they're not going to win the big games.
You see that all the time too in teams. It's like
they
got a great team and they're on a roll, but they haven't played anybody yet. And
that's what happened in 2000. That's what happened in 2011. They were doing amazing, but they got blown out by LSU and Alabama, the 2 best teams that year. So I think they're kind of having that similar of a season. They're probably going to get blown out by the 2 best teams, but they might win every other game. That's how I feel right now about Arkansas.
I mean, that 4-game stretch, they're 1-0 though. So I mean, anything can happen. No one. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say no one saw them beating Texas A&M, but they kind of beat them.
I think if Ole Miss beats Alabama, I think Arkansas will beat Ole Miss. I think they will.
What about so you say Ole Miss beats Bama, Arkansas beats Ole Miss. What do you see? I mean, Bama, Arkansas later in the year, right before the Iron Bowl.
No, Bama's easily beating Arkansas. I'm not even concerned about that. Bama.
Okay.
Now as for Ole Miss,
24/7 ran their model and ran the Ole Miss Arkansas game or the Ole Miss Alabama game 100 times to come up with their prediction, and they have Alabama winning 49-31, 18 points.
I don't know.
So they still expect a good shootout like last year too.
Yeah, and he said that Josh Pate or whatever it was, the host, said he wasn't real confident about whether they would break the win by 18, but he is taking Alabama. I am too. 18 seems pretty damn beefy to me, but I am taking the Tide
by 18.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No, you can have the points. I'm not. That's too many points.
I think Ole Miss will win.
Josh Pate had us at 17.5 when Vegas has us at 18.5. So,
right.
I think Ole Miss beats Alabama.
What I'm hoping for, what my fingers are crossed for, what I'm hoping for, is I'm hoping that I wake up on October 10th, and Alabama has beaten Ole Miss, and Alabama has gone to College Station and beaten Texas A&M, and now all you sons of bitches haters who are just dying for anybody, please beat Alabama, and they keep not being able to do it. What are y'all going to be pissing and moaning about then? Well, maybe LSU can rise up and do it.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just fixing to bring that up, Jeff. I talked about it earlier with these guys. Is that a couple years ago? You got to remember, right? Yes, LSU has downfalled since that national title, but let's not forget when the team and Coach O went to the middle of Bryant-Denny on the field and said, right here in the middle of the damn field, bring it down. It's our house from now on. We're going to show them whose house it really is. I'm ready for that one.
I guarantee you that has not been forgotten. I guarantee you.
Oh no, not at all.
Well, you know what? Well, if Alabama does beat Ole Miss and A&M, you know what team they're going to hear about for the next 2 months?
No.
They're going to hear about Georgia.
Of course we are.
Well, yeah, obviously. In the other division.
Here's the question.
I think Georgia's a legit team, but I can't pick Georgia to win that game at this point until I actually see them do it.
Well, that's.
And they haven't come close.
Well, they have come close.
All right, fine, they have. I'll give you that.
As much as Georgia fans don't like to hear it, Georgia chokes in big games now with multiple head coaches.
Well, you know,
it's a curse.
Kirby wins big games. He does.
Kirby is 2-5. Kirby is 2-5 against top 10 teams.
Yeah, Kirby is. Yeah, I have to agree.
Kirby is not 2-5 against top 10 teams.
No,
he's beaten.
No, Kirby is 2-5 against top 5 teams during the regular season. That is a fact.
Well,
I wouldn't call us beating Arkansas in that category. Let's say that.
Well, they're still top 10 teams. So that would count as a top 10.
Well, he's saying top 5, man. Like, you're not listening?
Yeah, but
that was a stat clear as day on ESPN on game day. Week one.
Kirby's also 11-6 in top 10 games, so it's not like he doesn't beat good teams.
It proves he can beat top 10 teams, not top 5 teams.
He can. Well, he's beaten good teams. It's not like he can't win big games.
What they really hate to hear, Slim, what they really hate to hear is when a Bama fan calls them out and says they can't beat Alabama because they don't have the fucking balls.
Be right back,
They don't have the mental toughness and the backbone when it comes down to crunch time
Yeah.
They can't handle it.
When the game's on the line, right?
Well,
When the game is on
Yeah,
the
I'll say
line, those Crimson helmets get in their head. They live in their head, and they're done.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far. I'm not an Alabama fan,
Well,
so I
I
would
mean,
expect that out of you. I chalk a lot of it up to Kirby's inexperience as a head coach.
Roll down Tide.
well, here's another thing too. In the 6 games we've lost to Alabama straight. Was Georgia really ever a better team than Alabama?
No,
No,
none of those.
never.
I mean,
Never. Well, actually,
that's-
I'll say
that's-
this. How do
well, maybe
okay?
2018. Maybe 2018. but
Okay,
besides
no,
that-
not 2018. The year for 2017 and the national championship. I would have said well,
Y'all are a better team.
you guys might have been a better team than Bama all year long last year and really in general. But let's be honest,
last year.
taking care of that.
I mean,
Tua
listen,
came out and did that.
it may be true that Georgia is a better team than Alabama right now, but that doesn't mean they're going to beat them.
Okay,
That-
I'll
right.
take that back. I think if we played that 2018 game again, I think we beat them. But other than that, I think Alabama was probably the better team. That 2018 Georgia team, whatever. We lost, but I felt like we were a little better. But, I mean, this year's our best shot.
Isn't the 2018 team the team that lost to South Carolina?
No, that was 2019 with LSU's run.
Yeah.
2018 lost to LSU in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't that in Death Valley?
That's true.
Right.
But
What
I mean,
year did they? What year was it? What year was it that South Carolina won in Athens? What year was that?
2019. I was just saying
2019.
that was the year. That was the year for LSU. Georgia
Okay.
had the one loss to the Cox and went on to.
All right, I was thinking
that was
thinking
Georgia's
of the
homecoming
team.
game too.
Was it your home? You lost your homecoming game? Come on, man.
Well, Alabama would have beaten us. In
That
2018.
South Carolina team went 4-8 too. That's the worst part.
No, the best part about Ballard. The best part about Ballard was they lost that game in no small part because Shankenship hooked a field goal.
Oh, good old Hot Rod, right?
Yeah, Hot Rod. Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
He didn't shank
Speaking
I
of,
think he shanked 3
You
of
missed
them.
you missed a big one in Atlanta too.
Speaking of homecoming game, the only game I've ever been to in Knoxville, Tennessee's homecoming game against Miami in 2002. That wasn't pretty.
What was that like?
I mean, I had a great time. Miami went in there and obliterated Tennessee.
Yeah.
Was
I'm gonna
Tennessee
step
good?
aside.
Tennessee was probably good at that year, right?
I'm gonna step aside
this
real
was
quick.
our-
Y'all keep talking.
Well,
I mean,
Miami
this
is the new. Miami's the new Tennessee. So
Yeah, not even close.
What?
Tennessee struggled
No,
to make.
Miami is not new Tennessee.
Hang on, Tennessee struggles to make a bowl game. Miami's never struggled to make a bowl game.
I was joking. I was joking.
Okay.
But I mean, look, head coaches wise, Miami's had they fired a head coach every 3 years. So in that aspect, I guess you could say they kind of are. But success wise, no.
Speaking of kickers, too. Oh, go ahead, Slim. Sorry.
No, Miami hasn't fired a head coach every 3 years. If you break it down like Lou did from when they joined the ACC in 2004, yes, but Larry Coker had already been the head coach for 3 years at Miami at that point. Larry Coker was there for 5. Randy Shannon was there for 5. Al Golden was there for 5. And
I don't think Larry Coker was that good of a head coach, though. I think he was just blessed with talent.
I mean, he was handed what Butch Davis built, and I mean, even the players said it. You know, Larry Coker was nothing more than the chaperone that got them on the bus. That's what Larry Coker was. I think he was a good offensive coordinator. He proved that. I don't think he was a good head coach. And there are plenty of guys that fall into that category of being good coordinators but not good head coaches.
Well, Mike Bobo is an example. Good coordinator, not a good head coach.
Well, we got a Virginia Tech fan in here. I mean, Bud Foster falls in that category.
Will Muschamp falls in that category.
Yeah.
Great defense coordinator. Not a good head coach.
Nope. Now, he didn't do good at Florida, but nobody's done good at South Carolina, so I don't really hold that against him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't hold him against
Steve
too
Spurrier.
much of Florida because who was the Florida head coach right before him? Jim.
It's Urban Meyer.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it
wasn't. It was
Jim
somebody else.
Yeah, McElwain.
Jim McElwain.
No,
yes.
McElwain
Thank
was
you,
after.
sir.
Was McElwain after?
No,
Yeah.
he's before. No, because he went straight from Florida to South Carolina. Am I wrong?
Did he? Because McElwain coached from 2015 to 2017.
Oh,
It may have
maybe I'm
been.
wrong. Okay.
It may have
I
been
was going to
Urban.
say that McElwain kind of left Muschamp in a bad position.
I think.
Never mind.
I think Urban Meyer. Yeah, he coached till 2010, right? And then.
I
think it was.
He's right. I think it was Urban Meyer that was coach right before Will Muschamp.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, then you really can't blame Will Muschamp for Florida because Urban Meyer left that place in shambles.
That's true.
Well, and did have to.
But you know what really worries me about Georgia? The one thing that really worries me the most is our kicker. I know y'all are making jokes about Shankenship or whatever. One of the best kickers in the NFL right now. One of the best kickers ever to play at Georgia. He was good. I know he had a couple games that y'all can make fun of, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But our kicker right now, he is not on a hot streak. I think he's 3 for 2, I think.
Yeah,
maybe he's 4 for 2, but
he
that
hit
kind of
one
worries
field
me.
goal last year. He hit one field goal last year, and besides that, he's been pretty terrible. Not terrible, but
I've got no hate for Hot Rod, but I mean, there's like 6 kickers in the NFL that are better than him.
Oh yeah, did you see that 65-yarder that hit the post and then went in?
No, 66. 66.
Yeah, get it right. 66.
They let the play clock run before that. That shouldn't have even happened. The play clock was at 0 for like 10 seconds, but they still let him snap it.
Oh, still a great kick.
But it shouldn't have happened. It's the issue.
There's plenty of bad calls in football.
Well, I'm just saying, I feel like Georgia has a place kicking issue. I wouldn't call it an issue yet, but it worries me.
Either way, the Bengals are still in the leading division.
Hot Pod, Georgia's kickers between Alabama's kickers 5 years ago and Hot Rod. He's in the middle.
Yeah, speaking of bad calls in the NFL, that's what I point to every time Uncle Lou or anybody else says we need full-time refs in college football. It ain't faring out no better in the NFL.
Oh, hell no.
The NFL also has a lot of garbage rules, unlike college, like the roughing the passer rules, the shoulder hits being flagged. What else?
Did y'all see that
that pass interference rule?
Did y'all see that the NCAA is coming out? They said something they're going to try to rearrange the targeting call to limit less ejections.
Well, no, they just need to eliminate ejections. And I tell you what, as much as I hate the targeting rule, they've come up with one that I hate even more, and that's this fucking blindside tackle shit.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
that's, in my opinion, the blindside block should be a legal play.
It is a legal play. I don't care who says different. It's a legal play.
It is illegal, but I guess in the rule book, I hate that rule too because Marietta did that all the time. They used to, on punt returns, we'd set up 3 people. They would just go blindsiding, and we did it.
And I've said the same thing about targeting, and I say the same thing when it comes to this. This ain't ballet. So get over big head. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Tom Brady came out a couple weeks ago and said it should be changed.
Well, Brady.
He straight up said the NFL's gone soft.
Well, Tom Brady.
Yeah, well, the whole country's been soft for the past.
Well,
I
got plenty to say about it. Try not to go there.
No, that's
let's not go there. I mean, Christian's away, so we can do that.
Well, Tom Brady, people act like he's a soft quarterback, but he's really not. He's gotten hit a lot of times, especially in the early 2000s, like that Bills play. He's gotten up every time, besides when he tore his ACL. That's the only time. Brady's a tough quarterback. Mahomes, on the other hand, he'll just lay down for any hit. That's a different story.
Well, if you notice the do, Mahomes would get hit a lot more. And I'm not the only one that's saying this because this got brought up. I think it was Shannon Sharp was talking about it. Nobody wants to be the one to lay that hit on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
and take the risk of taking him out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like people hit them softer just because, like, hey, I know this is your career. I'm not trying to be that guy, I guess you could say.
Shit, don't put me in football. I'll be that guy.
Yeah, Ray Lewis was that guy.
Yeah, Sean Taylor was that guy.
Well, in the 2000s, there was no sympathy for Tom Brady, and Tom Brady knew that. And every time he took a big hit, he got up.
What about what I missed some? I just got back in here. What we talk about Tom Brady?
We're talking about how Tom Brady. We're talking about how Tom Brady got up from every hit, and how he can take all the hits, and Mahomes can't. Like for example,
was what 2006? I think it was that year Tom Brady got hurt.
Well, I mean, he tore his ACL. I don't think anybody's going to get up from a torn ACL.
Yeah.
So I give him a pass there.
Hey, Slim, are you a Rays fan? Or do you follow baseball?
I used to follow baseball a lot more than I do now, but as much as the rules infuriate me and the refs do with football, it's so much worse in baseball because umpires have just gotten to the point where they're blatantly deciding the outcome of games.
You know, I almost I was looking at tickets to the Bama LSU game being in Tuscaloosa, and I looked at the price of the tickets, and you know what I said?
Oh shit, I mean that.
What'd you say?
Did you not see the stinger?
I've also been a lifelong boxing fan, and judging in boxing is getting that way.
But Pacquiao just retired, I think, yesterday.
Did he? Are you serious?
Yep.
Well, Pacquiao's running for president of the Philippines in May.
Yeah, he's on to bigger and better things. I like Pacquiao, man.
Well, I mean, let's be honest about it at this point. Here in the past couple of years, he's had a couple of good wins, a really big robbery, and then this last fight. I mean, he took this last fight on 11 days' notice against a guy that outweighs him, is what, half a foot taller than him, and has got a 3 or 4 inch reach advantage. And I mean, he used to be able to beat those kind of guys. I mean, he took down he made Marco Antonio Rubio look like a fool.
Yeah. You know the reason he took that fight? Have you watched he was on a podcast. I don't remember the podcast name. You know why he took the fight though?
Who?
It was originally supposed to be against Errol Spence Jr.
It was, yep. But he had to reschedule, like you said, a few days prior.
11 days he took that.
Yeah, 11
fight
days.
on.
He said so I guess he like knows or doesn't know the guy, but I forgot who he fought. Do you remember who he fought?
Argus is his name. Don't ask me to pronounce his first name.
That's why I didn't want to pronounce it. But he took the fight because he's like has a lot of respect for Pacquiao, and he said I would like love it to be like his last fight. I think Pacquiao did it out of respect. I mean, not to say that there's not any money involved or anything, but I don't know. Pacquiao
I was hoping Floyd would be stupid enough to fight him again. That's the one thing that really bugs me in boxing is the fact that Floyd's not half as good as people think he is.
No, he's not.
He's nowhere near the best.
Well, the thing about Floyd is he doesn't. I mean, don't tell me he boxes, but at the same time, the first 2 rounds he doesn't box. He runs away.
Well, he is the best defensive fighter maybe ever.
Yeah,
I'll give him that credit. But I mean, I've watched him basically from when he got robbed in the Olympics, which he legitimately did.
Yep.
Him and Roy Jones Jr. But I'm gonna say every professional fight he's had, but I've watched most of them, and I've legitimately seen him lose 3 there's a fourth one that I could say, okay, that one could have gone either way, and that was the one against De La Hoya.
Well, you talk about refs in the NFL and umpires in the MLB. The judges in boxing, they're just as bad, man.
I know, that's what I was saying. I was like, they're getting me that way. That honestly, the thing that still gets me, how is this broad still judging fight after she judges the first Canelo Golovkin fight 118 to 110? Are you a crack, woman?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hear you loud and clear. It just doesn't make sense.
Adelaide
Yeah, well,
Burns.
And now all these YouTubers are boxing professional people, and then they're like, okay, there's not going to be a winner, and then they all come out as draws. We're like, okay, all right. We see that where this is going.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. If you want some good judging, put Teddy Atlas down there to judge a fight.
Or let there be knockdowns and knockouts.
That too.
Well, the reason why they don't do that is because of player safety.
It's boxing.
I'm about to say, see, that's where I've never, they keep talking about wanting to make sports safer. So that's why you have the targeting rule in football. I mean, you can wheel kick somebody into oblivion in MMA and it's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
So spare me with your whole routine of trying to make sports safer.
Yeah. Especially in boxing. Like you're out there to get hit. Like it's, I don't know. I'll digress.
Yeah. My dad, back when my dad played football, he said he used to get hit all the time when he played running back. He said it was almost every single play. So.
Well, unless you're blocking as a running back, yeah, you're getting hit every play.
Hey, J-Dub, you still there?
Yeah.
Where are you traveling to this weekend?
I have a short trip. I have a 6:00 Central game on FS1. Iowa State hosting Kansas. And you spell that Y-A-W-N. Yeah.
That's game of the week right there.
Yeah, but next week, at a 3:00 Central game in Kinnick Stadium, Penn State and Iowa.
Ooh. Is that this weekend or is it?
I told y'all.
Is that
this
next
is what
week?
I said last week.
That's next weekend.
I said week 4.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I said last week. I said, yeah, week 4 games are good, but the week 5 and week 6 games, those are the golden weeks.
Good boy, son.
There's a ton of good games week 5.
This is probably something I guarantee you Jeff has got his eye on, and this is what I've got my eye on this weekend. Is going to be Iowa and Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maryland.
Where's that at? Is that's
a Friday?
Iowa?
That's in Landover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
that's a
Maryland
Friday game,
has
too.
a sneaky good offense.
Sneaky good, yeah. And you know what?
Talia has definitely improved, and I think who's the running back? Anthony. What's his name?
Well, when I say sneaky good, I mean Maryland's offense is obviously good, but
right.
They're not catching the national attention.
They should be catching.
What I know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know I've got Oklahoma State, Texas, and TCU coming to Ames later on this year. I've got those 3. I know that, and I know I've got Illinois. I know I've got Illinois at Iowa. I can't think of who else I got. I might have Kansas State. I can't think off the top of my head who else.
Have you ever worked at a SEC game?
Or worked on a what?
SEC game, like a SEC stadium.
No, I've been to a lot of them, but I've never actually worked one. No,
Gotcha.
No, I tried to get credentials for Alabama at Missouri last year. That's about a 6-hour drive for me. And Missouri told me they would have been happy to grant the credentials, but under the COVID restrictions, they were limiting the amount of people. And so it was a Missouri state rule, and the University of Missouri had to cut in half their media passes. Well, I have no connection to Missouri, so the first guy they're going to tell no to is a guy that doesn't have any connection. So
Yeah.
I didn't get the pass.
Well, another thing about I guess football and softness is Marietta a couple of years ago got in a lot of trouble because apparently the state said that we ran Oklahoma drills too much, and we got in trouble.
Did y'all hear that Shohei is out for the season? The pitcher for the Angels that's good at hitting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Angels.
What happened?
I don't
Now,
know.
what is this?
Yeah,
Clemson favored by 15 over Boston College.
Okay.
What in the
Boston
world?
College is not good.
15 over Boston College?
Hold on. Clemson is?
Yes.
Dabo's on the hot seat. He should
Well,
be.
Speaking of that game, who do y'all think's going to win?
No,
Boston
Dabo-
College.
I got Boston
Dabo
College.
should be on the hot seat. Come on
Hey,
now.
Slim, I'm just trolling right there. I'm just kind of giving them some hell because of the season so far. That's it.
I think Clemson's going to win.
I got Boston College by 3.
But there's no way that Clemson should be favored by 15 points.
Yes, there should be. Clemson's about to blow them out and cover. I'll tell you right now. Clemson's about to blow them out and cover the points. What is that? 15?
Yeah.
Give me Clemson.
They may win by 3 touchdowns. That team is pissed.
Yeah. I mean, you might be right.
And listen,
Clemson
Miami played that way Saturday, and I'm hoping they keep it going because I think that's one thing Miami's been missing. And there was an interview with Benny Blade, and to me, he hit the nail right on the head. There's too many players showing up at Miami with this attitude that, oh, we're at Miami, so we're just going to walk over everybody. And I think that's a lot of Miami's problem this season. So it's they need to get back to that old chip on their shoulder. I think is what they need, and that'll be a much better.
You see that Ed Reed halftime speech?
Well, I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah. That's the mentality Miami needs to have.
Now, just for context, you would think that if you just saw that halftime speech and didn't know anything else, you would think they're losing a game. They were winning. They were winning by 24, and he gave that speech.
Yep. Well, I thought they were winning by 8, but okay.
No, they were winning by 24. And he also had a separated shoulder in that game.
Yeah, don't hire him as a coach, though.
No, jeez. No.
Yeah. Hire him as your speech coach.
If you want him, there are a couple that have legitimate coaching credentials.
I wouldn't even fire Manny Diaz, first of all, but I wouldn't either.
I would give Manny Diaz at least 3 more years.
3?
Or not at least. Well, I would give him 3 more years at most.
I'm right there with you, to be honest with you, because I say it takes a good coach 5 years to turn around a bad program.
Now
Manny
hold
Diaz
on. Now,
is a first-time head coach.
Yeah. Let me ask this, though. Is this give them 3 years for what? Winning the division or winning the ACC at least? Like, doing what exactly? Because, I mean...
No, I say 5. I say 5 years off the rip. It was a bad team, and he's a first-time head coach.
Right.
You've got to give him time.
Well, this might sound crazy, and y'all might get on to me for this, but look. Mark Richt had
come on, Jacob. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I said Mark Richt had a 9-4 and 10-3 season, and then 6-6. One bad year, and then Miami wants him fired. Mm-hmm. He had 2 seasons. I mean, I know, but he had more success at Miami than Miami ever had since they joined the ACC, and y'all just wanted him gone. And They probably should have kept him longer so he could.
Well,
yeah,
I've always wanted to ask a Miami fan this. Go ahead, son.
Just for the record, don't lump me in with those idiots because I didn't ask for him to be fired at all.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I wonder if it had something to do with Mark Richt's Parkinson's disease. I don't know if he got diagnosed with it a little early.
No, now he got diagnosed with that like a week ago or a couple weeks ago. He didn't.
No, he didn't. Not a couple weeks ago. No.
Well, a month.
No, he went public with it during the off season. We don't know when he knew, and actually, I think that's a very good point. I think he probably knew then, and that lends itself a lot more credence to the whole he retired.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking too. And just because someone doesn't go public with it doesn't mean they have to. I don't know. It's just like that's what I felt like it had more to do with is that he got diagnosed and he wanted to step away to maybe be with family, make himself better.
I agree with you, honestly. Ever since that became public, I've really changed my mind on that. I mean, look at, what was it? 6 months after he retired, he's working for the ACC network, and he has a heart attack. Yeah. I think he knew he had health problems. I think he legitimately did.
They also have an inside linebacker.
Yeah.
Well, we're not trying to know what videos you're watching.
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah.
But he did come on the ACC network, I think, at the beginning of the season. He wasn't on there long. I never got to watch the clip, but I hope he's doing well.
If there was no Parkinson's disease or whatever, I think Mark Richt probably would have won 9-10 games a year at Miami. He probably would have.
Okay, hold on. I got to call something out. I haven't listened to it yet, but, after the stream, I might go listen to Saban's presser. But this is entitled by the official Alabama football YouTube page. Nick Saban says Alabama football needs full fan support for this weekend's game against Ole Miss.
Now that's concerning.
That Alabama would need fan support just to win a football game. I would pretty much agree with that. I mean,
why is that concerning?
Because Alabama is just that type of program and that type of team that, regardless of environment, the standard is win no matter what is on the line, no matter what pressure is on you. And the fact that now again, I haven't listened to the press conference yet, but I'm just saying that based on the title of the video of his presser today, like, if he actually said that, I'm assuming that maybe he did at some point, something to that effect. Like, for Nick Saban to say, yeah, we need the fans so we can win a tough game. Like,
well, the funny thing is that Kirby Smart said the exact same thing.
Well, that's Georgia, though. That's different.
Okay, but the other funny thing is that Alabama fans like to leave the stadium early, and Nick Saban called him out about.
Oh, and you talking about in the fourth quarter, right? When we're just blowing out teams like a Southern Miss last week.
Yeah, but Kirby Smart said the same thing that Nick Saban is saying. It's a big game.
It is.
Why not?
I know.
I get what you're saying.
I saw Kirby Smart's press conference. He said the same thing. I'm just saying, but what's up,
Bama Baker?
That's not something.
That's true. Bama Baker makes a good point. Saban does that with every big game that they play. Like, he does it with every Iron Bowl, with every Ole Miss, with every ranked opponent in regular season. I mean, we're talking about going into a top 15 matchup right here. I mean,
so how's it weird?
I don't know. I'm not used to hearing him say that. At least hearing it, and I kind of forget about it. But now that Bama Baker brings it up, yeah, he's always. I mean, he thanks the fans. He's thankful for the student sections, and here's the thing. You guys make fun of, he complains about playing at noon and playing it. No. He's tired of the fans leaving in the third or fourth quarter and going home because it's a big blowout. Mm-hmm. That's what he whines about. It doesn't matter where or who or what the game is played. It's the fans not sticking around for 4 quarters.
Georgia fans don't do that. But we don't blow out every team either.
I didn't say Georgia, did I?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I stayed at the Miami
I got
game in
you, though. I got you.
2019.
That's the thing about Miami.
Well,
Miami won't show up to
Yeah.
regular games. They only show up to the big games.
Yeah, I sat through the whole time.
I've said that for years, and I've never figured out why people try and make an argument that fans don't show up to watch Miami unless it's a early 2000 against scrub teams.
Yeah.
There.
Yep.
It's breaking up on my end. I don't
Yeah.
know what was saying.
Somebody's breaking up. I think it's
breaking up.
I think it's Slim Shady.
I hear him fine.
Hold on. I'm gonna let.
My bad.
Try it again, Slim. You broke up there. We couldn't hear what you were saying.
What I was saying is, no matter whether Uncle Lou or any other college football fan likes it, the fact that the University of Miami is in a huge city with plenty of other shit to do, people find other crap to do instead of watching a scrub team get blown out.
We heard him there, but yeah, I would agree to that.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
Jeez.
But I
Speaking of
got
top
my
15,
tickets. I got my tickets. I'm going with my
right,
mama,
good to be
my
back.
daddy, and my little sister. We got upper row
Top-
tickets.
Well,
Speaking
and
of top,
anybody,
But we're gonna have a good time.
anybody that watches college football would know that USC has the same problem. The Rose Bowl ain't sold out when USC's terrible.
Oh hell no! Even Georgia took over the Rose Bowl. It's a whole country away.
There you go.
well, yeah, but speaking of top 25 matchups, I'm praying that there's some type of miracle that this 12-team playoff doesn't happen. Some miracle.
I don't think it'll go to 12. I think it'll go to 8 before it goes to 12.
Yeah, I think it'll go to 8 first.
Now here, I keep saying that, and Lou kind of chewed me out over it. Like when they first broke
Chewed
news,
you out.
they were looking into expansion. I called Lou up on his show, and I said, I don't think it should go to 12. I think it should go to 8. He said, Ballard, stop it. It's going to 12. They already said that, and they hadn't officially announced that. But they have a plan in place that it is 12 teams. But I would agree with you. I think it should go to 8 before it goes to 12. I think that's where it should start. You shouldn't start it off too big.
Hopefully there's some miracle. There's some miracle, hopefully.
I'm going to be in the minority on thinking of this, but I think it should do the opposite of expand. I think you need to go back to the BCS. The fucking playoff is terrible.
Well, first of all,
It really doesn't matter what you think.
I think they should
It
stay
really
at 4
doesn't
or
matter
go
what
back
you
to the
say.
beast.
Hey Slim, what's your reason? I'm just curious. What's your reasoning behind that?
I mean, outside of championship games, what good games have we had? What, one good semifinal game, maybe 2?
My reasoning for 4 teams is that I don't think that one loss should end your season. That's my reasoning for 4.
Why not? The regular season mean more.
Yeah.
But I mean,
All I'm concerned about is the Iron Bowl. How about that?
I don't like seeing one-loss teams win their conference and then being let out the playoffs.
Slim, can I talk to you for a second?
Wait a second. You've had plenty of one-win teams win the BCS championship.
That's
Alabama
true.
did it like 2 times in a row.
I'm just saying, yeah, true. But for example, I don't like how Oklahoma State missed the BCS title and going 11-1 and winning the Big 12 title, and that's because there wasn't a 14 playoff. I didn't like that. I didn't like when Auburn went 12-0 and missed the BCS title. I just think that
I like a committee. I do like a committee more than a computer ranking system. I will say that.
What year
That's
was it
fair.
when?
And I will say this: I was there and watched Oklahoma State get their one handed to them, and put Alabama back in the BCS championship game when Iowa State beat them in overtime on a Thursday night. And that was the second most exciting game I've ever seen in person.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that might take this the wrong way. I would have put Oklahoma State in the BCS title over Alabama for the reason that
Okay.
they won their conference title. Alabama didn't. I don't like it when teams don't win their division and make the BCS playoffs.
I'm gonna be honest. I know that Bama had that in 2017, and like you said, back in 11 or 12, whenever. I think you're referring to 2011 when we rematched LSU, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I would fully agree with you, even though yes, Bama has benefited from it, but I would agree you should have to win your conference, at the very least your division, to make the title game back in the BCS era, or even today now with the playoff system that's in place.
And that's one thing.
Well, I kind of disagree. And I wanted to ask J-Dub a question. What year was it when Georgia lost to Bama in the the SEC championship, and then blew out Notre Dame in the national championship?
2012.
2012. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No. Hold on.
Yes, Ballard. It was 2012 when Alabama beat Notre Dame in the national championship.
Yeah, I know
So-
that.
and
But
that's
Georgia, he was asking about when Georgia.
No, that's exactly what I'm asking about. So
He said
and that's
when Georgia lost the SEC championship game, Ballard. Yes, they lost it by like 3 yards.
Yeah,
and then okay, I get what he was talking about. Alabama. That's what I was trying to get straightened up. I thought he was saying what was the year Georgia lost the SEC, then blew out. He was talking about for Alabama.
Yes.
My mistake.
Okay. Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Well, so what's the
then,
question?
Well, my question was to Slim. I think that's why we should have a 4-team playoff, because of games like that. Alabama blew out Notre Dame, and the best game of I think that should have been the national championship. That's just an example.
The reason why,
by de facto, it really was.
Well, the reason why they actually did it was the 2011 situation with Oklahoma State. They should have bid it. No, Alabama should have been in it. And that was the actual reason why they bid the 14 playoff. And they put it in before the 12. They said that starting in 2014, there'd be a playoff system. And they said that before the 2012 season. So, and 2011.
What they did is they looked at the Oklahoma State number 2 in the country against a sub 500 Iowa State team that had never beaten a top 5 team in the history of the program, beat Oklahoma State, and it took 5 missed field goals, an absolute fluke, for Alabama to lose at home to a very good LSU team. They compared the strength of schedules, who Oklahoma State had played, and what their opponent's record was.
Yeah,
and
that's
who
right.
Alabama had played and what their opponent's record was. And there was absolutely no comparison. That Alabama team would have wiped the fucking field with Oklahoma State.
I would agree.
They would have destroyed. They would have destroyed Brandon Whedon. He wouldn't have stood a fucking chance against that Alabama team in 2011.
I think you still got to win your conference.
I agree with you.
And I
get this. You got Alabama and Georgia. Let's say hypothetical. They're both 12-0. They get to Atlanta. Final score is 31-27. I don't care who wins. Final score is 31-27. You're going to tell me the loser? You're going to tell me the loser of that game doesn't deserve to go over a potential, let's say, 2-loss Big Ten champion, or a 1-loss Pac-10 or Pac-12 or 1-loss Big 12
scenario, based on record, based on strength of schedule, yes, they deserve it.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Absolutely not. But it also depends on the scenario. Say at the end of the year, Georgia loses the SEC championship, but you have a 1-loss Pac-12 champ in Oregon. Oregon absolutely deserves to be in there over Georgia.
Well, here's the thing. I don't care if it's a 2-loss conference champion. I think it could be 4 conference champions in the playoffs. I don't care what their records are.
No, I disagree. The ACC this year, for example, like there's no one in the ACC that deserves to be.
Let me ask you this. You gotta answer this question. Are you trying to find the 4 best teams in the country, or the 4 teams that meet some qualification?
4 best.
Yeah.
Well, and the committee's not using that either. I mean, they're literally throwing names in a hat, pulling them out.
Pretty much. And
because
this
they've had no consistency on how they're picking who they pick whatsoever, and they won't tell you the criteria they're using. They'll have guidelines and say, "Yeah, those are loose guidelines, but we're also going by this."
But kind of like
is complete horseshit.
Kind of like Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame last year got blown out by Clemson, and
they did it. Yeah, they didn't just lose; they got blown out by Clemson. Here's the thing. Now, I don't.
But A&M got blown out by Alabama. So what were you going to do? Give it to A&M?
But here's the thing, though. I understand.
But that was super
the Notre Dame and there were other one-loss teams in there too, like a Cincinnati or whatever. Cincinnati hung with Georgia. You going to tell me they couldn't have gone in? Now I understand Bama, but let's say like even Ohio State or Clemson in there. You're going to tell me they probably couldn't hung with one of those two?
I'll say this.
Well,
I don't
think
conferences.
Hell no.
I don't think Notre Dame should have been in there. But if you are going to put them in there, I think you should have done a tiebreaker with them in Clemson, had them play a third time.
Oh,
that
best 2 out of 3 right there. They're 1-1 in that season.
I don't like that idea. I think
why not have done
that's just making the best out of a bad situation. I don't think Notre Dame,
I know what you could have done.
I also agree with Jeff. I don't think Texas A&M should have been in there either.
Yeah. There's quite a few teams.
I would have gone with
Oklahoma. With the 4 teams last year. You could have done this. What if you had done Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Bama and Clemson? There's your 2 playoff semifinals right there. Put them head to head. Let's see what happens. Especially for that Notre Dame Ohio State game.
And this is going to be an unpopular. Well, this may not be an unpopular opinion. Ohio State didn't deserve to be in there either. I don't care.
Yes,
you didn't play
they shouldn't have even
last year.
They played 6 games. They shouldn't have even been in the Big Ten title. Who was ahead of them? Who should have gone?
They literally changed the rules to get in the Big Ten title to put Ohio State in there.
I'm pissed.
Correct.
I'm still pissed about that. That's
now to the question that was posed to me earlier about
what's that clicking nose?
The whole thing with Oklahoma State or Auburn. You could have made tweaks to the BCS, which they did. A lot of people forget they changed the BCS in 2001 because of the 2000 national title game.
What did they change? Remind me.
What they ended up, they had to change the way the computer figured it up.
Okay.
Because and Jeff's probably the only one here other than me old enough to remember it. They put Florida State in that national title game against Oklahoma ahead of Miami, even though Miami beat Florida State head-to-head, and Miami had 1 loss that year. It was week 1 to Washington, who ended up in the top 15 by the end of the season.
Yeah.
But they rattled off 10 more wins and beat number 1 Virginia Tech and number 2 Florida State along the way.
Okay.
And that Miami team would have absolutely obliterated Oklahoma that year.
So why don't you want a 14 playoff and want to go back to the BCS? Slim?
Because they fixed it then. I'm saying they could have made some more tweaks to it. Like somebody was saying about the undefeated Auburn team or that Oklahoma State team.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
This is like a crackhead.
Well, I just think
and yelling at another crackhead
I'm a
for smoking crack.
It should all be conference champions, no matter what. That's just what I think.
I agree. I agree. Conference. I think you should. Number one, you should win your conference to get in. Should have to.
And that puts
number two. I am not for putting in 2 lost teams, even 2 lost champions. Even you can say all you want to. Well, our 2 losses were, let's say, Oregon and Clemson, both on the road. Well, I don't care. It's 2 losses. Pick one loss, learn from it, move on, and beat the other teams. Win your conference, and you're good to get it.
And you know what I would still like to happen in this 14 playoff? Just to throw a monkey wrench into everything and to really make people come out with what it really is, which is basically a really big bias system. I want 5 Power 5 undefeated champions.
Ooh.
I want 5 undefeated conference.
Now,
what are you
we could. Do we have it set up? Well,
yeah.
No, I don't. Do we have it set up to that could happen? We got Oregon. We have Georgia and Alabama. We have
Wake Forest.
Okay, just for the sake of argument, say you end up with an undefeated Oklahoma, Wake Forest, Georgia, and Oregon.
Alabama or whoever. Oh no, you said Georgia from the SEC. Okay.
Just whoever. It could be Alabama too.
Okay.
But and an undefeated, let's call it Penn State. What are you going to do with 5 conference champions?
You're going to pick. You're just going to leave one. Now, okay, here's the thing. I guess that's where strength of schedule comes into play of which of the 5 you leave out. Because like you said, let me pull this up for you guys. Hold on. Let me go to. I'm always showing the rankings, but I mean, forget where they're ranked. Look at this. So, like you said, 1 and 2, Georgia and Alabama, both in the SEC 4-0. Oregon in the Pac-12 4-0. Iowa and Penn State in the Big Ten undefeated, and you have Oklahoma in the Big 12 undefeated, and then you can go all the way down, and you ultimately have
Cincinnati in the American.
You have that too, but you also have a 4-0 Wake Forest in the ACC. That's all the way down there. But I mean, I just gave you some undefeated teams at least 4 of the 5 conferences.
Well, Michigan,
even with 2 losses, if you win your conference, I still think you're good enough to make the playoffs.
Oh God!
But here's my
Not
thing:
with 2.
who do you leave out if you have 5 undefeated conference champions?
They'd probably leave out the Pac-12 team.
Why?
I say you shouldn't leave out the Pac-12 team if it's Oregon, but they probably would. That's probably what they'd do.
But I mean, Pac-12 has made playoffs before, so there's no reason that they're going to get left out. As much as we as fans think that the Pac-12 might get left out, Oregon made the first playoffs. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So
and Washington made it in the 16-17 season.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Oregon won a playoff game.
Sure did. Beat Florida State.
Yeah.
And then they lost to that Ohio
fact,
State
that was
team that we
actually
beat.
the only year since in the past 15 seasons that an SEC team did not make the national title. Just think about that. That was the only year.
Yeah. And this right here, listen, I hate jumping on Notre Dame, but I don't care what their schedule or anything looks like or undefeated until they can join full-time a conference and win a conference. I am putting them on playoff ban. Put them in a bowl game, fine, but playoff Notre Dame, no.
And see, Notre Dame's another team that's a perfect example of it doesn't matter the schedule they play. It doesn't matter if they're sitting there on conference championship weekend. They will get in with
if
a
they're
1
undefeated.
loss or better record. They'll get with a 1-loss record. I have no doubt of that.
Yeah, it's easy
Well,
to
that
get in the
just
playoffs
depends.
with no conference title.
They'll
They
get
don't
in
have a
with the
conference.
loss
That's why it's so
depending on what the other conference champions look like. Because, like, okay, I mentioned this is your playoff field, right? You're going to have, I think you're going to have a Penn State, Iowa for the Big Ten title. Go ahead, take that to the bank. You're going to have Oklahoma in the Big 12 against, I don't know who, but I think Oregon's
Penn State, Iowa. Whoa. You think Penn State beats Ohio State?
I think they could.
I think they could.
I think Ohio State looks very beatable, and I've been saying it for 2 years. Nobody wanted to. Everybody called me crazy. I said, let's see what Ryan Day can do on his own before we anoint him an elite head coach. You know, let's see what he can do when he hasn't been handed a playoff-ready team and Justin Fields on a platter.
Three-way. It's also a three-way tie with Bama, Arky, and Ole Miss for the SEC West too. Especially keep your eye this week in Tuscaloosa.
I'm not guaranteeing Alabama will win that division.
What'd you say?
I said I'm not guaranteeing Alabama wins that division. I'm not guaranteeing that.
I'm not either, man. I'm really worried about this week's game.
Because at first I thought, okay, well, Ole Miss, I said would beat Bama, but they'll probably lose 2 or 3 games other than that, and Alabama win the division. But my mind has changed a little bit towards that.
Just think about it. If Texas A&M
4-0 Michigan too.
If Texas A&M hadn't lost their starting quarterback, that could be the deepest division in college football this year.
Yeah. The Big Ten East is pretty deep too.
Yeah, I was just saying while Slim was talking, Michigan at 14 at 4-0.
Yeah.
You have now. My uncle was on here, and I kind of agree. I think Ohio State is vulnerable. This is Michigan's best year to try to win that game, but they also Penn State and Michigan. Now I was in the West, but for the East, Penn State and Michigan got to go head to head. I think that's at Michigan. That's a game.
Now, your uncle also said that Georgia's probably going to lose 2 or 3 games in the regular season.
He did say that, didn't he? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Until proven otherwise, I assume even the best team in the country is going to lose a game during the season because it's hard to go on.
It is.
I don't think we'll have any undefeated teams.
Not even Georgia.
No one will be
Oregon
undefeated.
might go undefeated.
I think Iowa and Georgia. I think Georgia and Iowa.
UCLA will get them.
Georgia and Iowa will be the undefeated conference champions.
Not.
And I really wish people would quit trying to hype up Cincinnati. They're not making the playoffs, even if they go undefeated. So stop it.
You think so?
We almost beat JT Daniels, though.
I think I have to disagree with you there, Slim. I think if Cincinnati, it just depends. Honestly, I say it now, but
they'll probably get up to 5 if they win this weekend.
We get to week 8, going before we get to week 8, things might change again.
Well, I think it's time for me to pull.
Well, hang on. Here's why I say that. I've got a reason why I say anything. UCF went undefeated for 2 years, and they still left them out.
That UCF didn't play a big school like they're playing Notre Dame.
I'm going to make a bold statement.
I think it's time for me to pull a hot take. I think Notre Dame's going to beat Cincinnati on Saturday.
Woo!
What?
Hold on. Where's that game at? Is that South Bend?
I think so, yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me too much then.
I think I do it.
I'm gonna make a hot take right now on a team that probably won't make the playoffs.
Greenbow, Alabama.
What'd you say?
A hot take right there of who might not be in the playoffs this year potentially.
Greenbow, Alabama.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why. I mentioned earlier, and Jeff can attest to this, I'm sure, that no matter how good or bad they are, well, okay, Ole Miss this weekend. That's a trap. That could be a trap game for us, obviously. You also have to look at the fact that there's an Iron Bowl at Jordan-Hare, and if we're filling stadium, that's a tough environment. I don't care what the rankings are. I don't care what the records are. That's tough. Auburn was they finished 7-5 or something in 2019. They beat us. We finished 10-2. Okay, now let me finish real quick.
But there's a difference with Auburn with an established head coach and Auburn with a first-year head coach.
Gus Malzahn was he was on the staff anyway, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
My point is, you have Ole Miss this weekend. Plus, I really do think Georgia's a real deal, and I hate admitting it because I love seeing Saban undefeated against his assistants, but I really do think Kirby has what it takes, and I think they could get him in Atlanta.
Well,
or if Alabama even doesn't win their division and they have the one loss to Ole Miss, look at the rest of this field on your screen. Penn State and Iowa, Arkansas.
If Alabama loses to Ole Miss, it's almost better that Ole Miss would win the division. Because if Alabama goes 11-1 and they have to play Georgia, that's an elimination game for them. So it's almost better.
If they lose it, which there would be a case because they've already taken a loss, you're vulnerable.
I'm gonna tell you what. If I'm Georgia, I want to play 12-0 Alabama. I do not want to play 11-1 Alabama, fighting for their lives. Do not give me that, Alabama.
They're limping. They will be in there limping on a leg, and they won't be afraid to use that leg and power forward.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Alabama's. You want the absolute best shot at making the playoff? Lose to Ole Miss this week.
For Alabama,
they have already shown that they will put in a one-loss Alabama that doesn't make the conference championship game.
And you have to hope too, because right before the Iron Bowl, we host Arkansas. You got to kind of hope that they kind of find some room in the schedule the rest of the way, that they just fall off a bit and get the win there, and it's not going to be too bad of a game.
What if this happens? What if Alabama, they don't win the division, they don't play Georgia in the SEC title, they go 11-1, they don't win their division,
and the one loss to Ole Miss, right?
Yeah. Okay. So they don't win their division, right? Georgia beats Ole Miss in the SEC title, all that. Okay. They're both in the playoffs. They both make the national title, and then Georgia gets a revenge and beats Alabama in the national title. Wouldn't that be something?
No. I don't even care. As a Georgia fan, I don't care.
That would be great.
Alabama comes in with one loss. I don't care. I think Georgia beats Alabama straight up either way.
They would.
Really? I know I'm biased, but you can. I don't know if you want to do that.
Let me guess. Hey, if you upset the tide.
All that says you about to roll with the tide.
Huh?
You better roll with them.
I'm not going to say Georgia can't do it, but like I said earlier, I'm not going to put money on it until I've seen Georgia do it.
Okay, well, I would agree.
Well, Ballard, here's another thing too. Alabama was sure fighting their lives when they were 10-1 and playing Auburn, right?
Oh, a couple years ago, yeah.
They lost.
Because we had 12 men on the field. If we don't have 12 men on the field, guarantee you we get that stop, we go back out and win.
All I'm going to say is that shows how much better in college Tua was than Mac Jones.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Mac Jones was the FBS record
holder.
He threw 2 pick sixes.
He threw 2 pick sixes. I don't want to hear it.
Gosh, that was his first true career. What? No, actually, he had a game against Arkansas, didn't he? After Tennessee.
Look what Tua did in his first career game. Exactly.
Won a championship.
Yeah. Tua was better than Mac Jones in college, and I don't even think it was really that close.
No, you really can't call that Tua's first career game, because Tua played at basically the second half of every game that year.
Thank you. Yes.
Including the national title game.
His first true game was Louisville that year, but I still wouldn't credit that. I mean, Louisville's not really been any good since Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hicks. Nice execution.
I'm just saying. I think Tua was a little bit better. Well, not a little bit, but I think it was 100% better than Mac Jones.
All right, whatever.
But
I mean, only time's going to tell with Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones had the benefit of having just absolutely outstanding receivers around him, and that can make a quarterback look better than he is.
Tua did too.
That's why I think Julio Jones, if he had a quarterback, he would have been better than Devontae Smith. He would have.
Julio Jones. And listen, Ballard, I don't just say that I don't just say that because it's an Alabama quarterback. I've said the same thing about Miami quarterbacks.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be honest. I do think talent wise, Tua has the edge over Mac Jones, talent wise. But if you want to talk poise, I give it to Mac.
Okay, well here's this thing.
I'll give you a perfect example. I've said it for years about Ken Dorsey. I think Ken Dorsey was an average quarterback, but he had absolutely outstanding talent around him that made him look a lot better than he was.
Let me ask y'all this. Where would y'all put, in an all-time ranking, where would y'all put Devontae Smith?
Best Bama receiver. In what system? Like, what are we talking about?
Just is he the best receiver ever in college football? Top 5, top 10?
I don't know if he's the best ever in college football, but probably the best that Alabama's ever had.
And I disagree with that. I think he is not the best at Alabama. I think if you give Julio Jones a quarterback, I think he would be a better receiver than Devontae Smith.
But we didn't give him a quarterback.
I would love to see Greg McElroy.
See, that's what pisses me off. That's what pisses me off about some of you people. You say, oh well, if so and so had this system or this coach or if that quarterback, you say it, but they didn't. You know, like Julio Jones didn't have a Tua or a Mac Jones. He had a AJ McCarron. He had
Greg
McElroy. Not that AJ was bad. AJ, had the passing touchdown record. So I mean,
he never played. He never played with AJ. He played with Greg McElroy, and that was it.
Yeah, that's what I thought about.
He never played with AJ.
Oh, that's right. I apologize. I thought he was there in 11. What year? Remind me again what year he was there. Hold on.
2008, 2009, 2010. He had John Parker. And then he had Greg McElroy 2 years. Nothing close to Mac Jones and Tua. I'm just saying.
That's right. I apologize. You're right. It was from 08 to 10. I was a year off there. Carry on.
I'm saying I think Julio Jones was a better receiver than Devontae Smith in college. You can disagree, but that's
fair. That's fair.
And I get Devontae Smith won the Heisman, and this is going to sound a little homerish, but I mean I can name 3 or 4 wide receivers from Miami that were better than Devontae Smith.
Are we talking about all of college football or just at Bama?
Because are you gonna go? Let me guess. You're probably gonna go Lamar Thomas, right?
Actually, no.
No, who you got?
Well, number 1, I'd put Michael Irvin better than him.
Ooh, yeah.
Number 2, I would say Andre Johnson's better than him.
Okay.
Yes.
I think Devontae Smith in college was very comparable. I'd say Santana Moss was better than him in college.
And here's another thing about Devontae Smith.
I never said he was the best
some people might take this the wrong way, but I think he played in an era, and I think that era is dead. I think it's changed, but I think he's played in an era where defensive coordinators could not figure out how to stop spread offenses. He played against weaker defenses. I think if he played this year, it'd be a little bit of a different story. That's just my opinion.
Are we already switching back to like a more defensive era now because of what we've seen this year? I really think that's just what we're seeing for this season. I really think in the next couple of years you might see some. You will see some quarterbacks and offenses pick it up.
I don't think it ever changed. I think it's always been defense wins championship. But much like you see, whether it's Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick in the NFL. It takes defenses a couple of years to catch up to them. Defenses are just catching up. That's all.
Well, that's
so. Let me ask you this.
That's then.
What would you call Bama last year and LSU the year before? Like what? I mean, did Ohio State just not stop Bama, or was Bama just going at it? What about LSU?
Ohio State, no. I mean, Ohio State was horrible defense. They were a horrible defense. That's not taking shots at Bama. They were not a good defense.
Ballard, you're talking a 3 to 4 year span. Like I said, defenses are just catching up.
Okay, I got it. I understand.
And see, I think Devontae Smith played in that 3-year span. And I'm not saying he got lucky, but I'm kind of saying he got a little bit. I guess you say he did get a little bit lucky. I think he's played.
Well, I mean, sometimes timing plays a factor in it. I mean, it is what it is.
Like, I'm just like, I just think these.
Lost Jeff.
I mean, because at the end of the day, football is football, and I don't like comparing college and pro, but it's like I said, at the end of the day, football's football. The Chiefs were the greatest dubbed the greatest offense ever seen in the NFL, and the Packers were the greatest thing since the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner back in the day, and defense shut them both down.
Yeah.
And now look at Kansas City. They're what, 1-5 in their last 6 games, 1-4 in their last 5, something like that.
Yeah.
They've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, 1-4. But all right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Got to hit.
Yeah,
work
I'm not.
So
Okay. I'm not going to keep the stream going too long, but if you guys have anything else to talk about or add, I'm going to try to work on. Well, first off, I've got to work on some more of my essay, which I really don't have much left, but I also want to get a Ole Miss Alabama preview video out for you guys too, for the big game this weekend. So, any closing words before I end it from anybody? Going once, going twice. Go ahead.
Go Dogs.
Have fun losing to the bacon bits this week.
ACC.
Have fun losing to Georgia.
Whatever. See you, Jacob.
See ya.
Yeah, I think Georgia will get the bacon bits, but anyway. See ya, Hokie. See ya, Slim. Appreciate everyone for stopping in. Jeff, Hokie for life. Slim Shady Canes, and Jacob Watson. I love each and every one of you. Jesus loves you. Y'all know that. He's got an amazing plan for your life if you just put your head in it and keep working. You know, keep going at it. I've been working. I mentioned I'm working on this essay that's due tomorrow. I'm really close to being done. I got to get on that and everything. So just make sure it's all good. But I know that I can achieve my goals and dreams as long as I put my mind to it and work hard. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you can do that too. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And as always, folks.
Okay. Roll down Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. Love y'all.
What's it to you?
Hicks. Nice execution.
You're doing terrific.
I'm going to have to ask you to go ahead and move your desk again.
All that says, you about to roll with the Tide.